Morning Monologue, day number 6. My name is Andrea. I have a master's degree in biomedical engineering. I'm going to make self-experimentation collaborative. Let's get into it. Today's the first sunny day since I've started this. Curious to see how the picture comes out. On the tippity top of my mind this morning is the Why Acne launch. I built this web app. Foundation of it is a machine learning model built by researchers at MIT that essentially takes images and grades them based on blemish count and acne severity. So it'll put the severity into 4 classes. I found this model in academia. The paper was published back in February. I've been using it every day. I upload selfies and I get my score to see objectively if my skin is getting better or not. Now, what I've done with this is use it to evaluate the different protocols I'm doing. I have quite a long list, actually. Why not? Let's go through it. So we'll start with the washing. I wash with salicylic acid, and I did for a long time glycolic acid. That's in the morning. Then at night, it's salicylic acid again. And then what I use, tea tree oil, is supposed to be benzoyl peroxide. This combination is supposed to be highly effective at removing acne. I think it's done a decent job with me. There is a slight asterisk in what I've done in that I didn't go to like CVS and just pick up salicylic acid or benzoyl peroxide. I went on the internet and I looked up where these compounds can be found in nature. I sought those out. So salicin, the precursor to salicylic acid, is actually found in white willow bark extract, at least in the highest concentration. So I bought that. I have like a little vial of white willow bark extract. Funnily enough, it's red. It's not white. But I use it, just spritz it on my hands, spritz, rub it on my face, leave it on for a minute or two, rinse it off. Instead of glycolic acid, my substitute was pineapple, so I would just rinse with pineapple. But I ran out of pineapple, so I need to buy some more. However, I do want to test the simpler wash routine, so less, see how that goes. At night, I'll once again wash with the white willow, aka the salicin, and then rather than benzoyl peroxide, I got tea tree oil, which has shown a similar P. acnes bacteria killing efficacy in literature. So the wash in full is salicin through white willow bark extract and then tea tree oil. Basically, it's fairly simple. It's all organic, holistic, and well, I think that it's been working. Now, I've been doing a lot, many other things alongside, which I'll get into now. Primarily is diet. I believe that many believe that diet, I'm just going to say this is true. You eat nothing but McDonald's for 2 weeks, I guarantee that your acne is going to get worse. As I drink a McCafe, this is a black coffee, $1. I think that it is the cheapest way to get caffeinated in the morning. Quick and easy, have a large coffee, stay caffeinated. Back to what I was saying. Eating unhealthy, clearly you're going to break out. If you haven't, give it a go. Tell me what happens, right? Eat nothing but white bread for 2 weeks and see how your acne is doing. So I found this book called The Acne Cure by Alan Logan. He's a doctor. He just runs through almost a history of how diet has been perceived by dermatologists and where we're at now in understanding the role that diet plays in acne. He just lists many different foods that you want to eat, foods you want to avoid, things like that, like chemicals that are found within the food that have been shown to fight acne. And it could really be boiled down fairly simply to cut out simple sugars, cut out refined carbs, cut out unhealthy oils, so like seed oils, for example. You really just want to eat a ton of vegetables. Fiber is good for you. Clean protein. Yeah, that's it. So my diet right now, I don't have the most money, so I need to work within the limitations that limit me, and so I eat a lot of canned food. What my diet looks like is boiled eggs in the morning, so high protein, good quality fats, without all the oils you cook them in. Then I'll have some herbs that have shown promise in acne fighting. So that'll be like ginger. I started turmeric recently. I have some milk thistle, some cinnamon. Cinnamon's good. It improves your insulin resistance, so your insulin won't spike as much, which has been shown many a time to be highly correlated with acne. So in the morning, boiled eggs, milk thistle, cinnamon, turmeric, ginger. I need to get a turmeric tea I was eating the root. It just stains everything. I don't think that is sustainable. I don't want to promote that. Fairly simple, high protein. Try to eat that soon after waking up. Get your stomach gears going. Funnily enough, I actually forgot my boiled eggs this morning. I was running late. Getting into the rest of the diet, the meat and potatoes of this. No meat and potatoes being eaten at the moment. Just a ton of beans. So beans are incredibly high in fiber, decent micronutrients and minerals, things of that nature. And the main reason is that they are very high calorie. I cut out all carbs. Where are my calories going to come from? So I said beans. I also got inspiration from Tim Ferriss in the 4-Hour Body. He was like, legumes are your friends. So I said, sure, let's be friends. So I'll rotate between red kidney beans, black beans, and garbanzo beans, which are chickpeas. Those are just the ones they happen to have at Costco. Moving forward, I'm considering increasing the number of beans in the rotation so as to just eat more diversity, have a diverser palate, diverser diet. So those are the beans. Those will make up like half of my meals, half of a singular meal. So the other half of that meal will be a fish. So fish have also been shown to be really good at fighting acne. It was actually Japan was one of the major case studies in this book, The Japanese Diet. They had like no acne. And then suddenly they got introduced to the Western diet, which is what we have here in the United States, and acne suddenly started to exist and kept getting worse and worse. And it turns out a traditional Japanese diet is good for fighting acne. They eat a lot of fish. Fish is expensive. So what do? I buy canned fish. And what I've been eating is canned tuna, canned salmon, and sardines, also in a can. Sardines are the most nutrient dense of the three. Salmon coming in second. Tuna, not so much. I just figured why not. I do alternate that with chicken, also canned chicken. And yeah, I've been doing that for close to 2 months now, and I have seen tremendous improvement in my acne, as graded by the model, which is in the Why Acne app as well. Getting better. I get a ton of comments from my friends and colleagues on my diet, and they're like, well, it ranges from what are you doing to how do you do it to why you do it, and I don't know, I just kind of do it. Some other things I'll throw in there: sauerkraut. So probiotics are supposed to be really good for your gut. My barberry extract, so that's like a berry that's found in Persia. There's like one paper in academia. It was like 60 people. So 30 in the control and 30 had barberry, all 60 had acne, and the 30 in the experimental group saw their acne decrease like 30 to 40%, which is pretty significant. So I've been doing that for a little while as well. The two ways I'm fighting it right now are through the washes and through the diet. The app is the way to see what's going on. So the goal with that, why build an app? Why put it out there? Why not just use the model for yourself? Well, I want to crowdsource the cure to acne. Me seeing that this works for myself is like one thing, but thousands of other people doing something similar and finding what works for them is really, really powerful. Because if we all just come together and take what we've found, right, with this like objective measure where it's like, hey, like this actually worked for this person. Here are the numbers, and the reason the numbers are important is because it'll be hard to sift through so many photos, but the numbers, you can just see like a graph, like, oh, look, like it got better. And if we just aggregate people willing to share, willing to work together, then we can actually find lasting solutions for people. I don't really know why this hasn't been done yet. I guess there hasn't been someone who's approached the problem in this way. I feel like academia is such like a gate-kept industry. It's got all these barriers to entry. You gotta, get your undergrad in some technical field. You can start working in a research lab, but then you gotta do your time. Basically, you're just like a lab assistant until finally you can like conduct your own experiment, but then you're so limited by the scope of the lab you're in, whatever labs your university has. And it's like this publish or perish culture where everyone's just like regurgitating these studies, just trying to like move their career along. The incentive structure between just the incentives of the researchers is just like to continue to publish. It's not even to like figure out what's what. So this is like really unique in that the researchers are like the subjects themselves, right? So you're basically experimenting on yourself. And I don't know about you, but I know about me, and I want to see myself get better. So as long as everyone else has that like baseline condition, then we should all be moving in the same direction. And it's like, where's the one place you wouldn't want to lie? And that's in your diary. So like if you think of this, what I'm building, it's kind of like a diary with like the objective measure component. It's like as long as you're like very truthful about what's going on and then actually see what's going on and we start to connect the dots, we'll figure it out. Super bullish on that. The hard part is just getting the others on board. So yesterday, let's go back a week. Last Friday, I got that model, right? The one I talked about, the one that grades your skin. I got it up and running. Launched into Hacker News. Very raw, unrefined, just like a Streamlit front end. But it worked and got like 8 upvotes. I think like 3 of those were my friends, maybe 4, including me. But yeah, I put it on Hacker News. The website copy was just like, hey, I found this model from MIT. I'm putting it out into the world. Use it. So I spent the last week playing around with what message I want to get across. Like, what actually is it? Like, this tool exists, but like, how am I adding value to it? What is actually going on here? So it was like, oh, like, here's the process. Like, clear your acne. Find what works for you. Like, track, analyze, iterate. It's like, okay, so if I'm just a random person, I come on this website, it's like, what the hell is going on? And yesterday, thank you to friends, my colleagues here. Basically, they've all been giving me pep talks like, dude, just like accept the fact that you are who you are and like be the BME who puts it together. I was like, all right, fine. So the new website copy is just like very straightforward. Is what you're doing working? Hi, I'm working on the crowdsourced cure to acne. Here's my story. I've had acne for years, didn't know what was what. So I found this model and here's how I use it. Give it a shot. And hopefully this does a better job of getting people on board. I think the biggest thing, probably like the most important thing that this actually accomplishes is that now I'm more confident in putting this in front of people. So before it was like, oh, okay, like I have this like website, like I know what my ideas are, but like there's like some internal friction. I wasn't so comfortable putting it in front of people, but now that it's like, it's very raw, like it's honest, like this is why I'm doing this, like check it out. I think that I can get excited about it. So here I am excited about it, dumping the State of the Union on why acne here and now. Very, very early days. But as I said yesterday, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And here we are. I mean, this is all a part of it, documenting the journey as I go, building in public, as they say, but making the content for why acne itself is huge because these people are on social media and I just need to find them. I think the story is compelling and it works. Like I'm not selling anything. It's not like every other website that exists where it's like, hey, here's my website. Like, here's a blog about acne, right? So let's climb the SEO. And at the bottom, it's like, hey, buy my magic solution. Here you go. Like, what am I selling? Nothing. I'm just providing an idea for us working together. I think that that's really cool. This format is fantastic. Just getting it all out there feels so very great. I gotta continue to do this. Iterate, improve. Can't believe we're already on there's no way this is day 6. I gotta check my numbers. I don't believe it. No, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, day 5. So the big picture, beyond acne, why not? We set the foundation, right? Simplest possible terms. We take a problem that people face, provide them with a tool to measure that problem and say, here are some resources, here are some ways that you could try to alleviate that problem. And we say, why don't we all come together and solve it? So for acne, you have the tracker, you have the grader, you have the assessment, and then you have this like entire world of protocols that you can try. We're not saying try this one. We're saying whatever you do try, let us know how it goes. That works for every other health problem in existence. In fact, that works for things beyond health. This idea of measuring output. So I actually discovered this myself. And I know it doesn't sound crazy, discovered. Like, what did you discover? Nothing to be discovered. But back last fall when I was teaching myself to code, I was like, you know what? Let me just track what I'm doing. Let me prove in case anyone ever wonders, like, what's going on? Let me just track this. So I did. I started recording the videos I watched and whatnot to learn how to code. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. And then I started to see that as my lab journal. And then I started to see life as a series of experiments. And eventually I settled on actual health experimentation as what I wanted to do. And I've always just been like really curious about the world and why things are, why we are the way we are. That's actually why I chose to be a biomedical engineer. I thought I would get some answers to that. Did not get very many answers there. So I guess I'll just have to find them myself. Here we are. This idea of the lab journal and just like measuring what you're doing when you're working towards a goal is incredibly powerful. Tim Ferriss talks about it in the 4-Hour Body, mainly to lose weight and get stronger, but it applies to any goal you have, and there really isn't a home for that on the internet. So to build it, I have to build it, and I see Acne as a really solid starting point for that. Plus, how cool would it be to solve, I don't know what word you want to use there, the eighth most common disease on the planet? That would be pretty cool. And then with that, the big picture is just this like idea. I think that many people just don't realize that we have the power to be the masters of our own destiny. And hopefully this is a way to open people's eyes to that through like health. Like, hey, you should just take care of yourself. It's not that hard to do so, and doing so yields incredible results. It's like almost what Brian Johnson's doing with Blueprint, except that his model is like, I lead, you follow, which fair. You want to experiment on yourself. That's noble. Good for you. But this is like, we all lead and learn from each other. We all support each other. We all grow together. So it's kind of like the people's version of the Blueprint movement. And so here we are. Join me. God, I hope the audio came out better for this one, episode 2 with the microphone. I have this like little box thing here. Check it out. Let's break the fourth wall. Yeah, so it's like these knobs that do things. And yesterday, the volume of the mic was super low, so I like twisted the knob more. If I could get like crystal clear audio, that would level this up significantly. Just so many little things, but I love this format. I love the dump first thing in the morning. Nothing quite like it. I just got to figure out a better timeline for editing these. That last night I was up till 12:30. I finished editing. We'll say like 11:45, then shower, went to bed. It's too late. I think just earlier, be more intentional. I realized yesterday I really fell in love with it. I loved how it came out. It was amazing. It's like, okay, the sound wasn't great, but this is it. This is the format. This is what we're doing. So yeah, being more intentional with that. As I built yesterday, I said this might not be very high leverage, but now I'm like, this might be the highest leverage thing I offer. Is like this story, this journey. I always like had that in the back of my head, but I didn't know how to bring it into the world. And this is cool. I mean, the odds of people listening to this are fairly slim, but at least I know that it's out. And years in the future, when people are questioning me and judging me and don't know what I came from or who I was, we'll be able to look back on this and say, oh, that makes sense. Hopefully. They probably won't. People are tough. But there's so much content from this past year that I just spit up and put out there. I think that accomplishes a similar goal. It just shows that essentially anything is possible. Like, you take a kid, doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He's smart, but so what? How did he figure it out? He didn't quite figure it out yet, but here he is. Wrapping it up here. McDonald's, $1, large premium roast coffee, get caffeinated, get after it. One final note here, actually. Yesterday, filmed this, journaled a little bit, did not go on social media one single time throughout the day. Night and day difference from the days before. So, yeah. Maybe I'll talk about that in detail next time. Stay off of that social media. Consume this. Why Morning Monologue? I like that. That is a good name for it. There it is. Why Morning Monologue? It's a question and it's an answer. Beautiful. All right. See you all next time. Thanks for watching. Adios.